Obeisances to my spiritual master, Sri Guru Sri Bhasya and Acharya Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi, and I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Narayan. I welcome all of you to our Thursday Satsang here at the Sri Narayan Dham physically in Durban, South Africa. I welcome those that's watching this discourse live, locally, nationally and internationally. And I welcome in advance those that's going to be watching this discourse on YouTube and the various groups that it is subsequently posted in. Our topic for discussion, as it is now cast in stone, Vishishtadvaita is Vedanta, and this world is Lord Narayan's classroom. We have to continuously remind ourselves and define Sanatan Dharma. What does Sanatan Dharma mean? What does Sanatan mean? Sanatan, Sana, eternal, and Dharma, duty, religion, religious principles, and
duty.
Righteousness. Look at how many meanings Dharma has. Sanatan, eternal, duty. Dharma, Patni means dutiful. Dharma Pati and Dharma Patni. Dharma Patni means dutiful wife. Dharma Pati means dutiful husband. Dharma also means religious practices or principles. Dharma also means law. Dharma also means law. So when we speak of Sanatan Dharma, we speak of eternal laws. Eternal laws, because Sanatan Dharma is backed up by its own living constitution. Sanatan Dharma is backed up by its own living constitution called the Vedas, of which the authorities are the Vedas themselves, the Vedanta Sutras, and the Bhagavad Gita, together with auxiliary supplementaries such as the Puranas and the Itihasas. The Puranas are the Puranas that are in Sattvic, and the Itihasas are the Mahabharata and the Valmiki's Ramayana. So this is the constitutional law of Sanatan Dharma. Law does not look at a particular religion, caste or creed. The law is a guide for everyone. And the uniqueness of Sanatana Dharma is that the law is a guide for all living entities. Humans, gods, there are many gods, G-O-D-S. Are there many gods? Yes. It is said that there are 33 million gods, but there is only one Lord, Lord Sriman. So these laws in Sanatana Dharma are made for, starting from top, the gods, and coming down, the gurus, and coming further down, the heavenly beings, and coming further down, the pittars, and coming further down, the ghosts, and then down to human, animals, plants, trees, insects, reptiles. Sanatana Dharma is a set of law seeking equality for all. So Sanatana Dharma belongs to each and every living entity. So Sanatana means eternal, and law means, and Dharma means law. If something is eternal, it means
has no beginning and no end.
And it cannot change. So the fundamentals of Sanatana Dharma is karma and karma, reincarnation. That is the cornerstone of Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma is based on these two fundamental concepts. Then let us examine this. So Sanatana Dharma has an eternal constitution, has an internal constitution called the Vedas. Vedas mean knowledge, and knowledge is the essence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sriman. Essence means that God is constituted of knowledge, and therefore anyone subordinate to God do not have capacity to alter the knowledge of God. Does it make sense? Anyone subordinate to God does not have capacity to alter the knowledge which is the essence of God. Does it make sense? So if God is absolute, then His knowledge is absolute. Therefore, anyone subordinate to Him does not have the capacity to alter that very essence of Him. Because God is inconceivable, knowledge is infinite. But for the purposes of law, to contain law within the universe, parts of that infinite knowledge is captured through revelations, through saints and sages, and transmitted into scriptures called the Vedas. And then again we say the Vedas is eternal because it is the essence of God, and God Himself is eternal and absolute, and the Vedas is not authored by anyone. The Vedas is a living entity. It is a living entity. It means it's eternal and it's alive. So every word spoken in the Veda has a counterpart. Every word spoken in the Veda has a counterpart, either as an object or a class or a being. You understand? Are you getting confused, Demeter? Which means, if I say that this flower that's in the tray is eternal, then that description of that flower has to remain the same today, tomorrow, yesterday, day after tomorrow, day before yesterday, all the time. That description of the flower has to remain the same. If the flower wither and die, or if it changes its description, then it cannot be eternal, because eternal means maintaining the status quo continuously. All of you understand? Shalem? I want you to film this man quickly. Go to the back of the room. Go to the back of the room. See that pink covering. Take it out. Remove it. Open the top. Where's Nikhil? Nikhil, help him. Open the top. Go into the camera, Amita.
Yes.
Go into. Can you see the size of the contraption inside?
There's a blanket inside.
Okay. There's a blanket there already.
Yes.
Okay. While the satsang is going on, I want Shalen to do a headstand with his head inside that contraption, because as a guru I failed to wash him. Now I bought a spiritual washing machine, and I hope that washing machine can wash his mind and his consciousness. Shalen? I want you inside. I only want to see your feet up. Okay, come in back. Come in back. We're saying that whatever word exists in the Vedas, it has a counterpart. It has a counterpart. Which means, with this example I gave you of the flower, that if there is a change made to any aspect of the Vedas, then that change cannot be eternal, it cannot be bona fide, it cannot be true, because eternality is changeless. Eternality is changeless. Okay? And then, as it is customary of gurus in Sri Vaishnavism, Sri Vaishnavism is eternal. Sri Vaishnavism is eternal. Eternal means it cannot be changed. It's existing eternally. It's existing eternally. It's a school. It is a school that is eternal, that belongs to Lord Sriman Narayan. Sri Vaishnavism belongs to Lord Narayan himself. The school never had a beginning. It will never have an end. This school called Sri Vaishnavism is Sanatan Dharma itself. Sanatan Dharma itself, and I've stated that it is customary for a guru in Sanatan Dharma to verify with scriptural injunctions which are eternal. So I've made some bold statements up to this point, and then I have to qualify it now with authority, and the authorities are the Vedas themselves, the Vedanta Sutra, and Bhagavad Gita. Alright? So let us confirm the eternality of the Vedas itself through the Vedanta Sutras. Alright? Okay. According to the Taittiriya Upanishad, 2, section 4. Before creation, in quotation marks, he said Bhuh, B-H-U, B-H-U-H, and then created. What's B-H-U-H? What's B-H-U-H? Bhuh, and then created the earth. Om Bhur. Okay. Bhuh, Bhuh Devi is earth. So before the Lord created earth, he uttered the Vedic name for earth, which is Bhuh, and the counterpart for the name Bhuh is the object earth. Earth personified is Bhuh or Bhumi. Are you understanding? Look at this. The name Bhuh, the object earth, and the personification of the object Bhumi. And that is eternal. That is eternal. It can't be changed. The Vedas can't be changed. So at every creation, when the Lord wants to create, He will remember to utter the word Bhuh. Then through the utterance of the word Bhuh, the earth will be created and its personification. You understand? This is going to be cyclic now. It can never change. The order cannot change because it is eternal. The order cannot change because it is eternal. And then, and I'm quoting, the several names, actions, and conditions of all things He shaped in the beginning from the words of the Vedas. And this is in the Manu Smriti 1.21. So I've stated and now I've corroborated with two Vedic injunctions. Then the Sri Bhasya itself, the Sri Bhasya itself, 1.3.27 on page 168. 1.3.28 of page 168. From this very reason also results the eternity of the Vedas. So the author of the Vedas and the author of the Sri Bhasya confirms within the Sri Bhasya itself with verse 28. Let me explain. Sunita, you have to speak outside. Let me explain. The Upanishads is spoken by saints and sages through whom Vedic knowledge was revealed. Through whom Vedic knowledge was revealed. When there is a partial dissolution, that means at the end of one day of Brahma, at the day and night of one day of Brahma, 4.320 billion years, this entire universe is inundated with water right up to Brahma law, and then 4.320 billion years after the night of Brahma, the water recedes. What happens to all Vedic knowledge? It is destroyed. Then Brahma remembers the names of the same sages and saints, and he creates the same saints and the same sages, and they reveal the same information in the form of mantras that they revealed in the previous creation. Sita, is making sense to you? The Vedas is not about somebody dreaming one day God said that other entity is God. There is no dreams in the Vedas. The Veda is a law. You can't go to court, Sita, and tell the magistrate, I had a dream last night after you get charged that when the robo turns red, I must drive across, and when the robo is green, I must stop. And you can't say that the constitutional court judge came in your dream and he told you that you can now transgress, you can change that bylaw. Sita? You can't tell. Will it work? Why? You dream in your own laws. You dream in your own laws, and if you dreamt your own law, it can only exist in your dream world. in your dream world. But we find people have dreamt a few philosophies and they're making the whole world dream with them. So it's a guru's job, it's a Sri Vaishnava guru's job. If people are dreaming in philosophies, we have to shake them and tell them, stop dreaming, come back to Sanatan Dharma. And Sanatan Dharma is Sri Ramanuj Sampradaya. And the current constitutional codifier of all the Vedas is Lord Sri Ramanuj. Nobody else. The highest codifier of all the Vedic laws in Sanatan Dharma, unparalleled, unsurpassed, cast in stone, is Lord Sri Ramanuj. No saint has even come 1,000,000 light years to him. This Sri Bhasya of Lord Sri Ramanuj is the constitution of Sanatan Dharma. It is a solid performance. It cannot be. It is unparalleled. It cannot be surpassed. It is the Vedas itself in a solid purport. In a solid purport. Okay? And it took Lord Sri Ramanuj 60 years, 1,000 years ago, 60 years of his life, 1,000 years ago, to write this purport. There is no dream that can shift one alphabet from this purport. And in this purport, Lord Sriman Narayan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as proven by Scripture. Lord Sri Ramanuj went and he found every scripture and he synthesized it into one coherent understanding. One coherent understanding. In Lord Sri Ramanuj's purport and synthesis, there is absolutely no contradiction throughout the entire Vedas. And he is the only saint, to present 544,000 verses without any contradiction, in proper harmony and synthesis. In proper harmony and synthesis. So I'm saying this with utmost humility. With utmost humility. All other philosophies and systems are light years away. Light years away. And I've given you this background. And I just want to give you a background of a background. A background of a background. So our great transcriber, Vishishtadvaita Ramanuj, I think 2 weeks ago gave a background of myself. And he stated two things. In my life, I spent 10 years as a policeman and as many years as a legal investigator, being a director of a law firm. So it's in my essence, not to be gullible. Not to be gullible, alright? Because when I was in the police force, and if you committed a crime, and when I arrested you, and you told me you had a dream to commit a crime, I whacked the hell out of you, alright? Because at that point in time, we were allowed to whack the hell out of you. Unfortunately, I'm a guru now, alright? So I have to whack you through your own stupidity. Your own stupidity, if you make a public utterance, and if you want to point a finger at the most glorious sampradaya that is existing on this earth, if you remove this sampradaya and its existence and its continuity with human beings, this earth will immediately turn into darkness. Because Lord Sri Ramanuj, that traversed the length and breadth of India, and he instilled the absolute truth across India 1,000 years ago. That truth still exists today. But there are people that are twisting that truth to suit their own narrative. They are twisting that truth to suit their own narrative and to suit their own philosophies. So if you look at my background, when as a policeman, when somebody transgressed, I had to bring you to book. And as a legal investigator, I have capacity, God instilled capacity in me to have that investigative mind. And in protecting my sampradaya, if anyone in the world, if anyone from any sampradaya in any part of the world points a finger at my sampradaya with my background, there are other gurus in the Sri Sampradaya who will say, leave it. I have been known not to leave it. Okay? I have been known not to leave it. This is my essence. This is who I am. This is my makeup. Not to let these untruths prevail. And I think Lord Sriman Narayan had prepared me by sending me in the military and sending me in the legal investigation. So today I can sit and defend my sampradaya, which essentially is his. Okay? So, there is some stories going on in the internet by Sridhar Srinivasa Das and Krishna Kirti Das. Both these members belong to ISKCON, alright?
K-O-N.
Full stop, C-O-N, sorry, ISKON, alright? And they sent, I think it's a blog, how the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya split. How the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya split and its implications for ISKCON. Okay? This is the third time devotees from ISKCON have publicly attacked the Sri Sampradaya, and this is the third time I am defending. We also defended the demolition of our mat in Puri. Remember, I did a discourse and we got a report back from the Sri Sampradaya that demolition has been stopped. We don't know how much effort we put, but the fact that we reacted is what Lord Narayan is looking at, that we reacted, and again I'm reacting today. So these two brothers from ISKCON are giving information to the world that there is a deep schism, S-C-H-I-S-M, Sita. What is the meaning of the word schism? And it split the Sri Sampradaya. And this is why I gave you a background. The Sri Sampradaya is eternal. Its constitution is the Vedas. The Vedas is the essence of Lord Sriman Narayan, which is also eternal. And what is eternal cannot be split. Cannot be split. You can't, a schism cannot take place in that which is eternal. Sita, you want to read what's a schism?
A schism is a split or division between strongly opposed sections or parties caused by differences in opinion or belief.
In opinion or belief. So what happened? There were minor ideological differences after Lord Sri Ramanuj left his body. Minor ideological differences after Lord Sri Ramanuj left his body. In the north, Sanskrit was the prevailing language in India, and in the south, Tamil was the prevailing knowledge in India. There were 12 Alvars. There were 12 Alvars that were born in the south that sang the Vedas. That sang the Vedas in their own words. Lord Sri Ramanuj took the singing of the Vedas and the Sanskrit Vedas and he brought them together. These 12 alvars, when they sang the Vedas, not one word was contrary to the Vedas in Sanskrit. So, after Lord Sri Ramanuj leaving his material body, there was one sect that decided to start off this singing of the verses by the 12 alvars is called the Tamil Veda or the Divya Pradhanams. Okay? So, one sector chose to, and this happened because of a king. A king interfered in the administration of a temple, and he caused a division whereby one sect wanted to start off their rituals with the Sanskrit Vedas, and another set wanted to start off the rituals with the Divya Pradhanams. That is not a schism. Look at me here in South Africa. Look at me here in South Africa. This ashram, we do not have a Pancharatra Agama priest. We do not have a Pancharatra Agama priest, hence there are absolutely no rituals in this ashram. Have I divided myself from Main Street Lord Sri Ramanuj? No. We created to suit our purposes in South Africa due to the lack of technical expertise in rituals and temple worship, we chose to do our own mantra, did we not? Is that in any way splitting me from the Sri Sampradaya? Because the fundamentals of the Sri Sampradaya is the Vedas, which is the constitution. And these two groups, both these groups, they still exist today. They changed. You'll see some with the Sri, with this dot but with yellow. Have you all seen? Those of you all on Facebook, you'll see a yellow. So one side is following the Divya Pradhanams first and the other side is following. But their fundamental, the scriptures and all of Lord Sri Ramanuj's teachings are intact. Do you understand? All of you understand? So I'm just going to take a few more minutes because I want to wrap this up properly. I want to wrap this up properly and I want to read so I do not make any mistakes in the names. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born in the 1500s. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born in the late 1500s. Have you all heard of him? The teachings of ISKCON is based on Sri Chaitanya, the advent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he, it is stated, was born in the Gaudiya Sampradaya. Madhva Acharya is the Acharya of the Gaudiya Sampradaya, and Madhva Acharya of the Gaudiya Sampradaya has stated in all his writings that Lord Narayan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Lord Sri Krishna is the Ishtadvaita. You'll understand the difference between the two. Ishtadvaita means your favorite incarnation of God. So your Ishtadvaita can be Lord Ram, it can be Lord Krishna, But the Supreme Personality of Godhead will always be Lord Sriman Narayan. You can't take your Ish Devta and make your Ish Devta now the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why? Because the Vedas is eternal, and the Vedas is stating that Lord Sriman Narayan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In every creation, it will be the same. The Vedas cannot be changed, touched or manipulated to suit your mood or taste at any time. Because as I've stated, to create the earth, Lord Narayan will say, Bhuh, then the earth will be created and the personification of the earth will be created. Would it will be Bhuh. To create, when fire is created, then the element fire will be created together with its personification called Agni. Agni. When water is created, then water will be created with its personification, which is Varuna. And when air is created, air will be created with its personification, which is Vayu. All of you understand? You understand? That cannot change. That cannot change. So, in the year 1500, 500 years after Lord Sri Ramanuj left his material coil, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Sri Rangam. 500 years after Lord Sri Ramanuj left his material coil, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Sri Rangam. Who set up the rules and regulative principles of Sri Rangam? And Sri Rangam is the headquarters for which system?
Sri Sampradaya.
The Sri Sampradaya, our headquarters is Sri Rangam. Our river is Kaveri. And Sri Rangam is Vaikunt. Sri Rangam is Vaikunt. If you go to Sri Rangam, on the island of Sri Rangam, it is identical to being in Vaikunt with Lord Sriman Narayan. Okay? So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Sri Rangam. He was cordially accommodated. And let me read the names. Venkata, V-E-N-K-A-T-E, Venkata Bhattar, B-H-A-T-T-A-R, Venkata Bhattar accommodated Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his 10-year-old son, Gopala, served Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like how our 5-month-old son, Krishna Ramanuj Das, served Sri Acharya next door when he was here. Okay? You all remember? Our 5-month-old Krishna Ramanuj Das serving Sri Acharya when he was next door. Alright? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was ecstatic that 500 years later, Sri Rangam was run according to clockwork as per Lord Sri Ramanuj's instructions. How many years? 500 years later, every instruction that Lord Sri Ramanuj left in Sri Rangam was complied 100%. And this influenced him to such a great extent that he asked the father of the 10-year-old boy to send that boy in his maturity to him in Vrindavan, so that Sri Vaishnavism can be continued, and the bhakti, devotional service initiated by Lord Sri Ramanuj. It was never initiated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Swami Prabhupada. Lord Sri Ramanuj is the source of the bhakti movement 1,000 years ago. 500 years later, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Sri Rangam. He pleaded with the father of Gopal Bhattar to send his son after he completes all his studies, so that his son can expound Sri Vaishnavism in Vrindavan. And when Gopal's parents passed away, he left Sri Rangam and he went to Vrindavan, and he became one of the 6 Goswamis of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He became one of the 6 Goswamis of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to spread Sri Vaishnavism. Because, work it out, logic and common sense. If you are taught the absolute truth, if you are self-realized and God-realized, God-realized, you have to know the absolute truth. Can somebody convert you to partial truth? Can it ever be possible that a Sri Vaishnavite who is self-realized and God-realized becomes anything else? Logic. You understand? Common sense and logic. Okay? And he wrote and co-authored the book on which Swami Prabhupada has now based his ISKCON on. That book, originally written, these 2 books were based on Sri Vaishnavism. Somehow, through some dreams, these books were tempered to suit a particular philosophy. You understand? And these 2 books, and I'm reading Bhagavata Sandarbha, Bhagavata, and Sandarbha, and Sri Hari Bhakti Visala. Sri Hari Bhakti Visala. Hari is a synonym for who? Lord Narayan. Don't forget, because this is the main, one of the books that ISKCON has based its philosophy and its life on. Alright? The latter means Sri Hari Bhakti Vilasa is a compendium. What is compendium? Sita, C-O-M-P-E-N-D-I-U-M. Your phone can't spell, Sita. Don't tell me your phone is gone into the dream zone, because you was going to get a degree from the Dream University before you met me. Yeah. Okay, when you find it, in the meantime, let me tell you more about Gopala Bhatta. What is a salagrama? Anyone else got data? S-A-L-A-G-R-A-M-A, salagrama? Anyone else got data? Hey, Vasan is in Satsang. Narayan Vasudeva? You know, I'm under a lot of strain in my heart. You put in more strain by landing suddenly in Satsang. Salagrama? Sita? Compendium? Yeah, what's it?
Collection of concise but detailed information about a particular subject.
Okay, concise but detailed. Concise but detailed. So the Sri Hari Bhakti Vilasa, written by Gopala Bhatta, one of the 6 Goswamis of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, wrote a compendium on how to worship and create Vishnu consciousness around us all the time. What consciousness?
Vishnu.
Vishnu consciousness. Alright? Somehow it has been changed to some other consciousness, but the original writing is Vishnu consciousness. Salagrama, S-A-L-A-G-R-A-M-A. No, I want the meaning of the stone, Salagrama. Vasan's sister.
Shyam, that's one.
Yes.
Saligrama or Shaligram refers to a fossilized shell used in South Asia as an iconic symbol and reminder of God Vishnu.
Who?
God Vishnu.
God Vishnu. Stop. Alright? So, Gopal Bhatta, he lived over 100 years. He went to a river and he picked up 12 saligrams or saligramas. One of them turned into Radha Raman. Who sings the song Radha Raman in our satsang? One of those stones turned into Radha Raman. Those stones are identified, Saligrama is identified with Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu turned into that stone, that icon that represents Lord Vishnu, turned into Radha Raman, because Gopal Bhattar's Ish Devta was Lord Sri Krishna. And Lord Vishnu, because of Gopal Bhattar's love for his Ish Devta, Lord Sri Krishna, Lord Sri Vishnu, who is the stone form Saligram, turned into Radha Raman. Turned into Radha Raman, and Bhattar, Gopal Bhattar, opened the Radha Raman temple in Vrindavan, who is a Sri Vaishnavite. Okay? Now I want these two Prabhus. I'm asking these two Prabhus to prove me wrong, like how I proved them wrong. And I'm asking the entire ISKCON. I'm asking the whole of ISKCON to now prove me wrong. And this is the absolute truth. So when you create something, and if nobody bothered you, don't cause a disturbance by touching the absolute. Don't cause a disturbance by touching the absolute, because the absolute will always have a way of biting you so hard, it will be called the eternal bite. Jai Sriman Narayan.